Hi guys, my name is Reki, and this is Emily Gavin. Welcome back to episode 2 of On Point and West Point, where we're going to be playing the game from a safe house we're going to create in West Point, and I'm going to show you tips and tricks for getting yourself up and moving in a West Point location and keeping the area clear, at least until winter time. So let's get moving. As you can see, this is right after we have loaded in. I have not investigated anything yet. She has started with a school bag which contains a baseball bat and a hammer and some chips and a water bottle. So we're going to go ahead, and the first thing we're going to do is attach this to her back, which will put it out in our main inventory, and we'll favorite it so we can't accidentally put it down. And then we'll hit 1 so she wanders around equipping it. We'll dump everything else in the bag, and then we're gonna multi-select everything by selecting one item and then selecting the last item by hitting the shift key, and then we're gonna favorite all this stuff. And I do this with things that I don't want her to accidentally drop, because I have a tendency of using transfer all and loot all. So we are currently at this house in West Point. I don't know where we are. Oh, so not too far. We're here, and Twiggy's is over here, and this is where we're going to head. So let's mark Twiggy's. Well, we can't do that yet until we get a pen. I do that all the time. Let's clear the house first. So first of all, here's the kitchen. Kitchen is empty. Let's see if there's anybody in here with us. Nobody in the bedroom. Nobody in the bathroom. Okay. And out the front doors we can see there's no car. So we're just going to go through and we're going to have a survey of what we've got here. First thing on my mind is we have a radio. So let's grab this radio. Let's equip it temporarily while we have a moment and have a look to see if it's got the automated broadcast system programmed. And it does not, but we'll grab it because it will provide us with a small amount of entertainment, which she's going to need in order to keep her happy. We'll also grab this skill magazine. Skill magazines have recipes. This one lets you make cake batter and numerous other things. So we'll grab that one, especially since cake batter is one of the few items in the game which does not spoil. So you can use milk and eggs to make cake batter and convert them from something that spoils into something that doesn't. Let's grab this sewing kit, and you always want to grab bandages when you find them, or drugs, because those are going to be necessary as the days go by. And let's see if we can get her into better clothing. So she's currently in a skirt. Let's unfavorite that and we'll trade it out for jeans. And as a matter of fact, we can just drop this. And then she's currently in a long sleeve t-shirt, and that's okay. We can leave her in that, but let's put a denim shirt on over it. That'll provide her with a little bit of protection. I see we have an extra baseball bat, so we're going to grab that. Guess she's a baseball bat fan. And let's have a look at what's in this gun case. I don't know that I really care. It's got a revolver. I don't know that I really feel like carrying it with me when I'm not much of a gun person anyways, so we'll just leave that. We're doing pretty well. We've got her better clothes, so she's slightly more protected. And we're going to go through and we're going to loot for refrigerable food so that we have something to eat tonight. And let's see if there's anything else worth grabbing. We need a pot, of course, a pan, a baking tray, a frying pan, a muffin tray. None of these things are going to be available at the inn when we get there, or at the tavern, because Twiggy's is a tavern, so we may as well grab these things. We can leave the canned goods behind and come back for them later. We definitely could use a knife, so we're going to grab that. And it always pays to get a dish towel, because when you want to clean up blood, you're going to need bleach and a dish towel. We also need a pen, which I have not yet seen. There we go. So here's a pencil. We'll grab this, and we'll grab this eraser. And we'll go to, where did it go to? Here we go. We will definitely favorite them. I have a habit of accidentally dropping them. And now that we have both a pencil and an eraser, we can adjust our map. So let's mark our starting location with a star. And where we want to go, we're going to mark with We could use a home, but I find that I like to use the home for furniture stores. So let's use the heart for our potential home. And this, I happen to know, is typically Gigamart. So we're going to mark that with fresh food and heart. So when we're in the mini map and we get close, we know when we're close to the house because that particular location has a heart near it. Looks like I missed a door. Let's check in here. Anything important? Alright, gloves. Let's put those on. We definitely need gloves. And look, we got a toolbox to start with. We'll just take that. And some tools. Perfect. Okay. We're going to need tools as soon as possible. So we may as well see what's in this toolbox and add to it. That's extremely convenient. Okay, so we'll put this screwdriver, this hammer, this crowbar. Actually, we'll probably just take almost all of this stuff that's useful and dump it in here. All right, we'll unequip it and we'll put it back in our backpack. Well, no, we won't. We're going to be carrying it, which is a little unfortunate. It's going to weigh us down a bit. But our first order of business is to stay alive, and our second order of business is to find a vehicle. And in the meanwhile, we're going to search mailboxes for any skill magazines, because people do get magazine subscriptions. And we are going to look in driveways for cars and head towards our soon-to-be new safe house. All right. Let's see. Let's zoom out on our mini map here, see if we can get an idea. Okay, so we're going to go to the next block and we're going to head south. And as we go, we're going to kill zombies. And we're going to see if they're carrying anything important. And remember, if you miss with your weapon, hit the space bar, it knocks them to the ground. We're going to grab this watch and we're going to wear it. And I hear another zombie coming, but I don't know where. It always pays to listen to your surroundings, especially while you're looting. Nothing here that I really care about, so we're going to leave that body there for the moment. Also, if you happen to spot propane grills on your way through, it pays to mark them on your map. It looks like that zombie's got his back to us, so let's go over the fence here and take care of this guy before he becomes a problem later on. This may have been the zombie that I was hearing growling. Alright, and we're going to grab some of the jewelry and things that we see as we go along. I have the recycling mod on, and that allows us to break down jewelry for scrap metal, break down things like watches and so on for electrical experience. It definitely does not hurt to keep an eye out for those things as we're going through. So no propane grill, we're just going to keep passing along. And we're going to keep our eyes peeled in case of other zombies. There's a propane grill. Okay. So really briefly, hoping that nothing is going to sneak up on me, we're going to mark this backyard with an exclamation mark. And then I'll change that to a little energy symbol or something of that nature to indicate that that was a propane grill, so I don't forget about it. We're passing behind the repair shop, if I'm not mistaken, so we'll just head this way. And now that we've gotten to something with a parking lot, we can kind of take a look and see if there's any vehicles here. I don't think so. And it doesn't look like there's any around this. This is either a convenience store or maybe that's the pharmacy. A lot of times it's the pharmacy, yeah, PharmaHug across from the repair shop in West Point. You will get some variation in the map, but not a lot. Sometimes these will trade out for other buildings of similar construction or type. but in this case it looks like it's the same. I like to check bodies for keys, and we have a water truck. This is useful. We can grab this from the outset and get it back to the safe house location. The sooner we do that, the sooner we can fill it up. Now, that was one of the reasons why I discovered that I had an issue in my other game. I had brought one of these water trucks back to the safe house, and look, there's a key in the ignition. We're just gonna turn it on if we can. Oh, it looks like the battery's dead. Nope, we're good. Okay, and out of here we go. So I had brought one of these water trucks back to my safe house, and I had built a garage that I could pull it into with the hopes that if I put a sink in that garage, I would be able to hook it directly up to water and fill it with fresh water before the water system, the water grid went down. And unfortunately for me, that was not the case, as the sinks stopped working for me. And I don't know if it's because of my architecture. I did just recently upgrade to a newer version of the Mac OS. I went from Mac OS Big Sur, which I had used since purchasing my Mac last year, and which had given me no trouble at all, but I upgraded to Mac OS Monterey because I gave it, 6 or 9 months for them to stabilize everything before I install. I don't usually like to install an operating system when it's new. I usually like to wait. So I thought that I had given it plenty of time, and it is possible, I suppose, that that's one of the reasons I suddenly have issues, is because I did upgrade to that. I upgraded from Big Sur to Monterey within the last, I guess, 2 weeks, and it's possible I just did not notice any issues because this particular issue is so specific. Alright, we've got a body here. That tells me there's probably at least a zombie floating around in this area. So let's, now that we're here at Twiggy's, let's have a look around. And there's one in the picnic area. And let's go along the side of the building here. I always try to do a patrol both outside and inside, especially before I get any player construction up. The key to a safe house in a solo game is making sure that you alter the building that you're living in. And in the beginning, I assumed that meant that you could just, tear down walls or whatever and be in a good position. But that isn't always the case. Sometimes the best thing you can do is to add bars to the window, and then once you do that, it recognizes that you have made some changes. And we've got quite a few of these guys around here, so let's see if I can pull them one at a time and spread them out a little bit, which makes it a bit easier to take care of them. And as you can see, we're not really good with our weapon yet, but give us a little time and we will be. Alright, so I'm going to grab some of this stuff that they're carrying. Nothing really super important. This one had a hat on, I think. Yeah, cowboy hat. And I am hoping for keys. Sometimes you get lucky and you see keys. And there might be some on the ground over here. Is this a set of keys in the grass here, or is that a twig? That looks like a twig. This might be keys over here, though, and it is. Look at that. So which vehicle do these go? These go to the taxi. Well, there are certainly worse things in the world than to be driving a taxi. And this means that now I don't have to worry about taking the water truck everywhere. because we now have a vehicle. So let's discuss why Twiggy's is such a great location. First of all, you're near the gun shop if that happens to be your thing, and if not, you can wall the whole thing in and you have 2 buildings that you can use for different things. You can use one for a garage and one for a living space or whatever you want to do. Second of all, it's got a lot of concrete, so you can keep a large number of vehicles. Additionally, it's wooded, which is not great for line of sight. You want to clear it as soon as possible, but it also provides you with plenty of fuel for the winter. Finally, it's a really nice structure. So let's take a look inside and make sure we don't have any zombies. Now, one of the things I have found is there's some great lore. If you have a radio and you listen to the entertainment and the talk radio channels in the beginning, you will sometimes hear Twiggy himself talking about his business and how he went away to visit a sick cousin and he took his wife and his dog with him, and when he returned, he couldn't get back in. I do not know if that ever changes, so I don't know if there's a chance that we ever find zombies in here, but I always assume that there are zombies. And I also like to run around and turn on all the lights, which people might argue with, but I will cover up the windows later on. I just like to be able to have line of sight in here. Now, so far I have not found zombies actually in Twiggy's, so I find that to be a relief most of the time, but that doesn't mean that you can't find zombies in Twiggy's. So we look clear, everything's lit up. Another reason Twiggy's is such a great location is that you have all of these wood items that you can break down, and that gets your carpentry up almost immediately. All right, so I'm going to drop the things that she's currently got on her person all on the floor here. Because the nighttime is the best time to go around and start sorting through all of this stuff. And we're not going to do that right now. Right now, what we're going to do is we're going to go out and we're going to start looting for the things that we need to get us through the next night or two. We obviously need a supply of food. We need some tools, which we got lucky enough to find. If we can find an axe to start tearing down some of the woodlands, that will help us. We need metal bars and a propane torch because we need to bar these windows to make sure that we don't get zombie pop inside and that they cannot come through these windows outside until we can get a wall built. And I think those are the biggest considerations right now, getting her skills up from the level they're currently at, which is 0. Will require us to get a couple of books, do some reading. Getting a TV in as soon as possible is helpful because that helps you raise skills. So these are the things on our to-do list, and we'll see you in our next episode of On Point and West Point. Have a great day. Bye-bye.